So hey guys, this is KMCers. I'm Kirsten, and today's video is another true crime video. And today we are going to be talking about the George Floyd case. So many of us probably do know about the George Floyd case, but if you don't, I will be discussing this case and everything that has gone on since. So yeah, let's just start with this whole video. Okay, so our victim's name is George Floyd. He was 46 years old. He was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina. But he was killed in Powderhorn, which is a neighborhood in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was born in North Carolina, like I said, but then he moved to Houston, Texas, where he was raised. He attended Yates High School, where he played basketball and football. He helped Yates High School win a state championship in 1992. He played basketball in college at South Florida Community College, but he did not graduate college. He returned to Houston, where he joined a hip-hop group called Screwed Up Click. And then in 2014, he moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota. He worked at a Minneapolis restaurant as a security guard for 5 years, and he recently lost his job due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So let's just talk about what took place on the day that he was killed. It was on May 25th of 2020 that this event took place. George Floyd went to a local Cup Foods store to buy some cigarettes and some groceries, and he tried to use a $20 bill that the clerk figured was counterfeit. So the clerk called the police, and this was all around 8 p.m. that night, and she called the police, and the police were seen on surveillance footage from the restaurant across the street that the police arrived shortly after 8. The police approached a black minivan where George Floyd and 2 other people were in. 2 of the officers walked up to the vehicle. One of them shined their flashlight into the vehicle, and the other officer went up to George Floyd and tells him to step out of the vehicle. There was a brief struggle with Floyd getting out of the vehicle, but eventually Floyd does get out of the vehicle. And of course the other 2 had stepped out of the vehicle as well, and they were being interviewed by the police officer. Moments later, you could see Floyd in the surveillance video getting handcuffed behind his back. He was taken to 2 officers to the side of the building. Floyd was seen just talking to them, not resisting or anything like that. A second police car came up, and they take Floyd to the awaiting patrol car. And in another video, he was seen stumbling and falling while being taken to that patrol car. Witnesses, so the other 2 people were interviewed by police, like I said before, and in between this time, there is no known footage of what has happened in between this last time you see Floyd to the next time you see him. So Darnella Frazier shot the small little clip that went viral showing that George Floyd on the ground with his neck being pinned down by Officer Derek Chauvin. That's how I'm gonna pronounce his name. If it's wrong, don't come for me, but that's just how I think it's pronounced. I don't know. Anyways, Derek was seen with his knee on the back of Floyd's neck while Floyd was being face down and already handcuffed. He has been subject to prior conduct complaints over his 19 years on the force. He has 18 complaints, as far as I know. In 4 minutes, Floyd is telling all the officers and a bunch of people hearing him that he can't breathe and that he was asking Shaven to get off of his neck. And bystanders, including the clerk that had initially called 911, were pleading with the officers to let Floyd get up. As he couldn't breathe at this point, he was saying, "Please, I can't breathe. Don't kill me," kind of thing. And one of the cops tells Floyd to get up and get in the car while Floyd was still being pinned down. And Floyd replied that he will, but he can't move. And then all of a sudden, Floyd is just seen stopped moving. And the police call EMTs around 8:30. 6 minutes later, they had arrived and they had loaded up the unconscious, unresponsive George Floyd. And paramedics and police eventually flip Floyd's body over while he is still handcuffed. They place him on a gurney, still being handcuffed, and place him into the ambulance, where they eventually release his hands from the cuffs. Medical officials spent the next hour trying to revive George Floyd with no luck and unsuccess. So at about 9:25 that night, they pronounced him dead. And police claimed that he had suffered a medical episode while being in the struggle with the officers, and that's how he died. It wasn't the fact that he was pinned down by his neck. So now let's talk about the investigation and everything that has happened after this whole incident had happened. So on May 26th, the next day, police chief announced that the officers that were involved had been placed on leave, which later that day, the mayor, Jacob Fry, and the police chief stated that all 4 of the police officers involved had been fired. The officers involved, I will insert their names here because I do not know how you pronounce them, and everything that they did being involved in this incident. So on May 26th as well, at the bus stop near where Floyd had died, they had made a memorial spot where people placed flowers and candles and cards and paid their condolences to George Floyd and his family. And as the day progressed, hundreds marched down the streets to the police station, but it was all very peaceful. Protesters had signs that said "Justice for George," "I can't breathe," "Black Lives Matter," and throughout the first day, it was relatively a peaceful protest, as we have the rights to do. But a small group of people went and vandalized the police station down the street. They broke the windows, they vandalized the police cars, they pretty much destroyed the police station itself, and everything in it, and whatever. And of course, this led to the police being really irritated and actually dressing up in riot gear, and they used tear gas and flash grenades, while protesters began to throw rocks, and at this point it's starting to get very violent, and objects at the police. They were getting really violent with each other. And the police used rubber bullets and smoke bombs to get these people to stop. And like I said, the protesters did turn violent at this point. And it continued for days and days and days. And it's still going on to this day.
This is America. Don't got you slipping up. Look how I'm living up. Police be tripping up. Yeah, this is America.
On May 27th, Frey called attorney Mike Freeman to arrest Shaven. And FBI announced that they would be doing an investigation, as well as the DOJ, that they were gonna try to find some federal laws and charge him with it. Donald Trump pled that the feds and the DOJ were looking into this, so the President Trump requested this whole thing. And the case outraged the sports world as well, because LeBron James posted a photo and his anger towards this whole thing on social media, which outroared a bunch of more people, and it made it well known that this whole thing had happened and how everybody was really mad about it. George Floyd's brother also said in an interview, this is his direct quote, "I want everybody to be peaceful right now, but people are torn and hurt because they're tired of seeing black men die over and over again." Autopsy later on was revealed that they found no indications of strangulation and that he had died of a combination of effects that were of his medical history or his health conditions, such as a coronary artery disease and hypertensive heart disease, and his intoxication that led to him being stressed out and had this episode and completely died from. But the family was not happy with that result. They do not believe that he had any of this medical stuff that required them to... They requested that an individual autopsy be placed, and on May 29th, the other 3 officers had moved out of the area. They left the area. They went to different places, unknown to where they have gone, but they have left. Also on May 29th, the Derek Chauvin officer had been arrested and charged with 3rd-degree murder and 2nd-degree manslaughter. Chauvin's wife has filed for divorce now, and she has offered her condolences to the family as well. And she asked that everybody leave her and her family alone. And on May 29th, curfew in Minneapolis and St. Paul and Dakota County had been placed, and National Guard was dispatched to enforce the curfews.
Oh, there's more. Look at this. They just keep coming.
Oh, go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light him up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in, get in! Get in!
Oh, God, that hurt. You good?
Are you okay?
Right on the fucking crotch.
Are you okay? You got hit?
I'm good. They're booked for that, dude. What?
Okay.
It has sprung into a lot of protesting, aka rioting. Over 100 cities around the world has been protesting now. And on May 30th, 12 states, including Minnesota, had called up the National Guard, and at least 12 of the cities, major cities, have now imposed curfews for people. On May 31st of 2020, they had estimated that 255 businesses in Minneapolis has suffered vandalism or entirely destroyed businesses now. And on June 1st, there was a report that Floyd and Derek Chauvin had worked at the same local club as security guards. The owner of that club has said that they had worked in close proximity once a week. Their Tuesday night shifts, and she doesn't know for sure if they do know each other, but chances are that they might have run into each other while working. And this club has been burned down last week due to the protesting. Chauvin is due to be in court later this month. And that's where we're at. There's a bunch of rioting still. In the city that we live in, we are also experiencing some protesting, in our town. I don't believe it has gotten as violent as some other places. We haven't destroyed everything or anything really. But there is some protesting going on. It's kind of still in the peaceful realm of things. Because now at this point we're at Latinos. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment down below what you think of this George Floyd case, and if you have been protesting, if it's been peaceful or not peaceful, and comment down below. Or I already said comment down below. And subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell notification so you're notified when we post every single Friday. This is KMCers, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!